In the heart of a bustling city, where rumors and whispers flowed through narrow streets, there was a young woman named Sarah. She was like a mystery shrouded in secrecy, always hiding her face behind a box. No one knew for sure why Sarah chose to conceal herself, but her presence intrigued everyone. Sarah was a bright and sensitive girl, but something had happened that caused her to shut herself off from the outside world. She used to be like anyone else, full of life and confidence, until a devastating experience at school changed everything. It was at school that Sarah fell in love with the most handsome boy in class. She confessed her love in a moment of courage, but what she received in return was cruel. The boy publicly rejected her, calling her the ugliest girl he had ever seen. He even suggested that she hide her face to spare others from shock. What followed was an avalanche of humiliation and bullying. Sarah withdrew from everyone, refusing to go to school again. Her refuge became her own home, where she always hid, lacking the courage to look at herself in the mirror. Living like this, hidden from the world, Sarah found solace in online conversations, where she could interact without showing her face. However, her family was worried. Her brother Johnny and her father, Mr. Kevin, desperately tried to understand and help Sarah, but she resisted any attempts at assistance. It was a difficult situation for everyone, especially for Sarah, who had convinced herself of her own ugliness. She deeply believed that it was better to hide than to face the criticism and contempt of others. One day, something unexpected happened that changed the course of Sarah's life. A stranger offered help when she was trying to retrieve a stuck balloon. It was in that moment that Sarah realized something surprising. She felt more confident when her face was covered, and thus began the habit of hiding her face behind a box, which eventually became her armor against the world. But behind that box, there was a girl with a sensitive soul and a wounded heart. Sarah was trapped in a cycle of fear and self-deprecation, unable to see her own beauty. It was clear that something needed to change. Sarah's father, Mr. Kevin, made a decision and determined that it was time for his daughter to confront her fears. He wanted Sarah to return to school, despite her resistance. This decision triggered a series of events that challenged Sarah to confront her own image and discover the true beauty hidden beneath her mask. The day Sarah returned to school was a test of courage. Her heart pounded as her father drove her to the school gate. She tightly held onto the box that concealed her face, feeling her anxiety grow with each step towards the unknown. Upon entering the familiar school environment, Sarah was immediately reminded of the dark days of the past. The curious looks and whispers in conversation circles made her more nervous than ever. She knew everyone was wondering what was hidden under that box. As Sarah tried to stay calm, an incident caused her to lose control. A group of students started pointing and whispering, triggering painful memories of rejection and humiliation. Sarah felt dizzy and nearly fainted. It was at this critical moment that someone came to her aid. A boy named Roy, wearing a helmet that made him appear less intimidating, approached and offered his help. He wasn't there to mock Sarah, but to offer genuine support. Roy was different from the others. He understood Sarah's need to protect herself and respected her decision to hide her face. He shared a part of his own story, revealing that the helmet was just a personal preference, not a mask of fear. Over time, Sarah began to trust Roy. He became her ally in the battle against bullying and insecurity. Together, they faced tough situations at school, challenging stereotypes and confronting bullies. Johnny saw Sarah's brilliant potential, even when she was hidden behind the box. He encouraged her to get involved in school activities, showing her that there was a world beyond the protection she had created for herself. As the days went by, Sarah began to slowly open up. With the loving encouragement of her brother and the constant presence of Roy, she found the courage to step outside of her comfort zone. The decisive moment finally arrived on a sunny day at school. Sarah was surrounded by her trusted friends, including Roy and her brother Johnny. Her heart was pounding as she battled the self-deprecating thoughts that had haunted her for years. With a mixture of fear and determination, Sarah raised her hands and removed the box that had been hiding her face. Silence fell over the crowd as everyone awaited with anticipation. Sarah's eyes met the curious and surprised gazes around her. She felt the support and affection from her close friends. It was a moment of true liberation, as Sarah finally allowed herself to be seen as she truly was. Roy smiled proudly while Johnny applauded, overflowing with admiration for his sister's courage. The classmates, initially stunned, soon expressed respect and acceptance. In that moment, Sarah realized that her true beauty wasn't in her outward appearance, but in the courage to be authentic. She discovered that self-acceptance was the key to feeling loved and respected. Sarah's past gave way to a bright and promising future. She found a new purpose in her journey, inspiring others to embrace their own uniqueness and face their fears with courage. With the box now kept as a reminder of the past, Sarah embraced her true identity and paved the way for a life full of confidence and self-acceptance. In the days that followed, Sarah continued her journey of self-discovery with renewed confidence. She actively participated in school activities, now without the box as a shield. Her friends welcomed her warmly, and she felt more connected than ever before. As the weeks passed, Sarah began to explore new interests and talents. She discovered a passion for art and music, expressing herself in ways that had seemed impossible before. Meanwhile, rumors about Sarah's transformation spread throughout the school. Her classmates began to admire not only her courage, but also her vibrant and authentic personality. One sunny afternoon, Sarah found herself reflecting in front of the mirror at home. She looked at her own reflection without fear, finally recognizing the beauty that had been inside her all along.